How can this happen?
Oh, you know the story better than I do. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Dead Man's Pants, Louis and His Monkey. No. I'm looking for the story. I don't know where it is. I know it's in here. I could tell you the story, but I would rather read it. The Leatherman Gets Brain Cancer, page 101 of Psychological Nudity. Stay on the line. You win a free copy of Psychological Nudity, John. It's going to go out to you next Monday. Absolutely free. Before I reprint it, I may as well give out some gifts this summer. Because soon it's going to be August. And you know what August is like in the Savage Nation? Normally, for most people, it's the doldrums and nothing happens and it's fake. Time to waste. I actually do. I enjoy my shows in August more than any other month. It's a different pace. It's slower. I'm working on 2 books now at the same time. I'm trying to get myself off the list in England, doing a daily radio show. It's enough for me. I realize I'm lucky, according to Obama. I work 16 to 20 hours a day, but that's luck, according to Obama. And the bums who sit with crack in their nostrils, the bums who slug beer down in the doorways there in New York and Washington, they're unlucky. Yeah, sure, okay.
Savage.
I want to let you know that I love Michael Savage.
The Savage Nation on Talk 910 KNEW.
So Obama wants to tax the rich because we're lucky. We're all lucky. I work 18 to 20 hours a day. I have most of my adult life. Where's the luck in that? The luck is what? Working 18 hours a day? Say, well, I don't have to do it. Well, why do I do it? What drives me? I don't know what drives me. I don't know. To me, without work, I don't understand what life is, truthfully. I don't know what a vacation is. I don't know what life is. Very hard to do nothing. If I go away, I got to do a radio show because there's always something going on in my environment or in my world that I can't wait to talk about. I think it's important. And you say, well, is there a higher purpose or it's just to make a living or just to show off? I don't know. I'll let you decide. How's that? You decide. That's all. I'll let you be the judge because I can't be the judge of my own life. I have my own views, and I vary on them. But in a confessional state of mind, you have to be the judge. I do know the adage, all it takes for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing, is true. And the reason we have evil triumphing in America is because not enough good men are doing something. That's my opinion. We have evil men and evil women right now taking the reins of America and changing the nature of the country in a direction it was never intended to be. Never. This was not set up to be a communist state run by czars and Politburo members. Where in the Constitution is it written that you should be a subject of a government? Tell me where it's written. Show me where in this U.S. Constitution is written we the people are supposed to be subject to the government, the great gods of government, the secret of government. It's anathema to the U.S. Constitution. It's un-American. Unfortunately, we no longer have a house of un-American activities in this country. We should. Bring back UAC. Bring back UAC. House of un-American activities. The problem is you'd have to indict 98% of the government. You take a look at the deals they've done behind your back, sold out our... Oh, don't get me started. Please, the people who are giving you this malarkey are the ones who sold us down the river. They sold out the infrastructure. They're taxing you to death to pay for it. They're bringing in uneducated illegal aliens who don't work. Don't give me the crap they all come here to work. If that was true, then why is the fact that 30% of all prisoners are illegal aliens true? Why is it that if they all come here to work, most of the births in Los Angeles are amongst illegal aliens? Because they know that their children become instant citizens and that they're meal tickets. They know it's a golden leash that they have on their child. They never have to work another day in their life. In fact, the more they have, the more you, the moron, are going to pay to make sure that they keep knocking out babies. See, this is the unvarnished truth. And in an age of lies and focus groups and public relations liars, the truth itself smacks you in the face. It almost sounds pornographic. When you hear a man speak the plain truth directly as it is, and you know he's right, it hits you as though someone opened up a book of pornography. Today, pornography is actually less offensive than the truth. The world is so upside down that pornography has been mainstreamed while the truth has been sidelined. So that's why I say to you, what more can I say to you that I have not already said? If I took a vow of silence from today forward, my body of work will live on long after me. I'm telling you right now. But I'm not taking a vow of silence. I've published over 25 books. There's a lot of words in those books. I've done 3 hours of radio 5 days a week for 15 years. There's a lot of words in those years. I have a young lady archiving the best of segments of those shows. You say, well, why are you doing that? What are you, an egomaniac? Why shouldn't I archive my shows? Some of them are good. They shouldn't just be disappeared. I don't do ordinary shows. Sometimes I hit notes that are remarkable. I tell stories that are great, or I have insights that are unique. So what I've done is obsessively over 15 years made notes on going back to audio tapes. Then when the DATs came out, they're on DATs. Then they're on CDs. So when you hear a replay of the Savage Nation sometimes, you know, a best of show, those are distillations of radio programs, and they're polished. All of those are on discs. I have thousands of them. And I finally decided, you know what? Have them archived. So the young lady is archiving them. Then I'm going to archive all of the videos of every show I've ever appeared on. And all of the Super 8 and 8mm movies of me years ago in the Fiji Islands collecting plans, blah, 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 blah. Why am I doing it? I don't know why I'm doing it. I guess because I'm lucky. I want to spend 16 to 20 hours a day doing this. Is it for self-aggrandizement? In the biblical sense, yes, all is vanity. I agree. But then on the other hand, you could say, well, don't do anything. Then just sit like an animal and do nothing the rest of your life. Sit like a cow now and chew grass. That's what a human being should be. What distinguishes man from animals? Well, many things, but primarily his intellectual abilities, if you want to know the truth. What's the difference between you and a dog? There used to be a guy who called himself a poet in North Beach, a drunk, a heroin addict, a vicious bum, and all the vermin looked up to him. He used to say, well, I'm a father, too. Had a child and left him, never contributed a nickel to him. He and I once got into a fight in the bar because I said to him, you had a child like a dog has a child. Why don't you stay at home like a man and earn some money for him? You know, one word led to the other. That's a father? That's a father who basically rapes a girl and that's a father. That's not a father. A father stays home with a child. A father raises a child. A father sacrifices for a child. A father becomes a husband, a house band. He puts a band around the house. He supports the wife. He supports the child. That's a husband, not a dog that just fornicates and has a baby. That's not a father. I love it. Yeah, the girls say, oh, I want to visit my father. He's in prison. They all have children. They can't wait home. Every show on MSNBC is about a prisoner glorifying him. They can't wait to get out of jail. Tattoos all over their body, in for the most heinous crimes. They want to get home for their daughter. And all of a sudden, they found they were a great father in jail. For the child, they want to go home. A real role model. They can't wait to get home. For the daughter. Or for the son, they can't wait to raise when they get home. 3 months later, they're back after stabbing someone in the back or doing a spray job with an AK. The father, they can't wait to get home. That's the world we're living in. Bring in more of them. God, bring more in. Let them have more babies. That's why you have Obama as president saying that those of us who work 16 to 20 hours a day, we're lucky. We should be taxed more to pay for the 14-year-old who's marching around in the mall with 5 babies, illegal aliens, because each one is now a citizen. So now that you know where I stand and I clear the air again this Friday, we can go on and go back to stories. Okay? Carmela, let's get some ladies calling the show. Carmela, New York, WOR, go ahead, please.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
You know how you heard me just now. You know how I am. If you heard me, you know how I am.
But, Michael, please read that story. I love that. That's just, so... Wait.
Which story?
The one about your mom is in the kitchen with all your aunts, and they're having coffee and eating all of the cake, and you're looking at one of the furs they had on around their neck, and it has like a rat face or a raccoon face.
You remember the story better than I do. These are two different stories. Let me tell it in pieces because they're not in the book in one story. When I was a little boy, I have recollections of my grandmother who died, when I was very young. She had a fur coat called a fox coat that had fox heads hanging on it. And they would be talking, and they'd throw all the coats on the living room couch, right? So a kid, I don't know, I was 2, 3 years old, 4 years old. I'd crawl around, and I'd go to the coats. I'd look up. There would be fox heads staring down at me. They looked real to me. And then I remember to this day, you talk about remembrances. The coats would be cold, the fur. They'd keep the cold from the outside. You remember that? Touching them, they'd be cold, still the fur.
I do.
In the kitchen, the women would be talking. I know what you're saying. They had an oilcloth, tablecloth, and they would be talking, eating the coffee cake, and moving around crumbs with a serrated knife while talking, and they'd work out the world's problems. Today, they're either smoking or drinking or whatever they're doing, going to a shrink.
true, Mike.
My mother used to say to me, what do you need a psychiatrist for? She'd say, people don't need a psychiatrist. See, when I went to college, the worst fear was when I was studying Psychology 101, I finally figured out how crazy the family was, or something with that. I don't know, she was afraid of something. So she would always intimidate it. She was afraid of psychiatry. She'd say, what does a person need a psychiatrist for? She said, I would think that when a person has troubles, if they have a good friend to talk to, it's the same thing. Actually, she was right in her way, wasn't she, Carmela?
She certainly was. But, Michael, I don't have your book. How I wish I did. But
you're getting a free copy because you asked for it, Carmela. Stay on the line. Give Carmela a free copy. You know, I want to talk about that for a minute because my mother was a good woman, and she had her own problems like we all do, and she dealt with them her own way. But I remember to this day, I'm not going to divulge a name. I wish I could tell the story, and it's a very hurtful story about someone else. Her friend lost a daughter, let's put it to you that way, in a terrible tragedy. The girl was a teenager. The woman became a basket case, went to pieces, as you'd expect. My mother bathed her. My mother fed her. My mother combed her hair. My mother took care of her friend.